Hello and welcome to another Hump Day Yoga with MimiLumi Presents. My name is of course Mimi. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's practice will be reasonably dynamic, more dynamic than last week's Hump Day Yoga. So do bear that in mind, listen to your body, rest whenever you need to. Please don't wait to be prompted by me to guide yourself into rest. And if there's anything that we do that feels unsuitable for your body or is causing you any aches or pains, then please come out of the posture and then just rejoin the practice when you feel safe and ready to. But otherwise, let's get started. We'll be starting lying down on our mats today, so make your way there comfortably in your own time. So let's start today lying down on our backs with our feet a really generous hip width distance apart, maybe even as wide as your mat, and then you can let your knees knock together. Let's bring our arms to a cactus shaped position beside us so that the elbows are lining up with our shoulders and our fingers are pointing to the wall behind us. And then just softly take your gaze towards the ceiling. Feel free to close down the eyes, or they can stay open if you prefer. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath as you breathe in and out through your nose. Not trying to actively change or alter the breath, but simply noticing its rhythm and texture today. And taking a quick scan through the body, noticing how it feels today. Every inhale, really noticing and relishing that sense of expansion through the chest and the belly, even up in towards the arms and the rest of the body. And then as you exhale, allow the whole back of your body, but particularly the pelvis and the shoulder blades, to sink and surrender towards the earth. Releasing any tension you might be holding there. And then we'll add some movement to match our breath. So that as you take your next exhalation, keep the feet where they are, but allow your knees to knock all the way towards the left. And we're going to turn the gaze to look to the right. And then inhale, head and knees come back to center. And then exhale, knees go towards the right as the head turns to the left. And we'll continue this as a flow, inhaling as we come up, and then exhaling to go towards the other side. Beginning to warm up through the spine as we move into the spinal twist. But also we're noticing the sense of massage we can feel behind the lower back and the pelvis and the buttocks. And maybe you're even feeling a little bit of a stretch in and around the hips or the front of the thigh. Good. And the next time that you exhale, those knees towards your left. Just bring the knees back to center. And then we'll draw knees together, hug them in nice and close to the chest. Take hands behind the head, interlace those fingers. On your next exhalation, engage your core muscles and use the hands to help guide your head towards your knees, to lengthen out through the back of the neck. And then as you inhale, we release back down. Release those hands from underneath the head. Lengthen out your right leg nice and long and draw that left knee in towards your chest. So you want to imagine that the back of the right thigh is melting down in towards the mat. And as you inhale, you're drawing left knee a little closer towards the chest. An active bicep curl through the arms. Holding for a few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, your next exhalation will guide your left knee a little bit further out towards the left armpit. So now we're taking more of an inner thigh stretch. Good. Take care that you're not letting the right hip or the right buttock begin to lift up off the floor, and there's still energy out through that right leg and the right toes. Exhale to guide the knee back in towards center. Let's draw right knee in towards chest again. And come to a happy baby posture just for a few breaths. So you're imagining that the soles of the feet are planted towards the ceiling above you. And as you exhale, you're drawing the knees in a little closer towards the chest. At the same time, we lengthen our tailbone down towards the mat, decompressing through our lower spine. Good. Let's flip the wrists now so that wrists are flexed and palms are pressing up towards the sky. We're just going to move through 4 little ab curls, imagining that we're trying to draw a line on our upper arm with our knee. So if you imagine that the knee has some charcoal or some paint, and then as you exhale, we lift and curl up. And then we inhale to lower back down. So try to maintain that contact of the arm to the knee so they don't separate at all. And by doing this, we're getting more of a tucking motion, then a curl. So we're not trying to reach through the legs, we're trying to go up, and then we lower back down. Good, last time, exhale, we come up. Inhale, we lower back down. Both knees come in towards the chest, and then we lengthen the left leg out long, and the right knee draws in. Again, we lengthen out this back left leg so that we feel that the thigh is melting into the floor, toes pointed, and then it's an active bicep curl to draw the knee in towards the chest. Try to relax through the face and the jaw here. We'll take a few breaths in this orientation. And then when you're ready, your next exhalation guides that right knee out towards right armpit. So it's more of an inner thigh stretch now. Again, try to make sure the left hip and the left buttock aren't coming off the floor. One more deep breath in, and then exhale, guide your knee back into its neutral alignment, more over the chest. We draw left knee in as well, and we come back to that happy baby posture once more. Good, let's take another 4 of those tucks or hitches in your own time. So we flex the wrists, palms up towards the sky, exhale, we reach up. Inhale, we lower back down. If you're feeling any tension building up in towards the neck, you can always take one hand and just support the back of your head. So you're still going through the same motion, the effort is all coming from your abdominals, but you're just releasing the neck slightly, weight of the head coming into the hands. But also, if you're happy, the hands stay out. Last time, exhale, we come up. Inhale, we lower back down. And then grab onto your happy baby again. Grab onto the outside edges of the feet or the shin. And then let's just take a little wee rock from side to side. Just to massage through that lower back a little. And then we'll draw knees in towards the chest. And we can come up to a seated position either by rolling onto our side and then using our hands to help press us up. Or if you prefer, you can rock along your vertebrae for a few rounds. Massaging through the back of the spine until you make your way to seated. Working towards an easy sukhasana, easy cross leg, nice square cross leg position. If you'd like to sit up on a cushion or a blanket, you're welcome to. But otherwise, we'll take hands to prayer at heart center. Let's move through 3 rounds of our circle of joy by interlacing our fingers. Inhale, draw those elbows apart, but resist with your fingertips so that there's tension in the arms. And then as you exhale, we press the palms away in front of us, chin to chest, creating a C curve in the spine. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, stretching out through both sides of the torso. And then exhale, those hands come behind me. Interlace those fingers. And then as we inhale, we're drawing the hands behind us, wrists working together. Opening up through heart center. Exhale to release, hands return to prayer. Interlace those fingers. Inhale, imagine that there's balloons filling up in your chest here. And then exhale, we hollow out through the belly as we curve. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, take the shoulders away from your ears though, and then exhale, take your hands behind, interlace those fingers. Inhale, big open heart breath, maybe we lift the gaze if it's comfortable for the neck. Exhale, the hands return to prayer at heart center. Repeating one more time, this time changing the cross of the fingers, so for most of us that's left fingers forward now. Inhale, exhale, we curve. Inhale, we start nice and tall. We should really feel that we're growing that little bit taller now. Exhale, the hands come behind. Keep the opposite cross here. Through the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Open heart breath. Exhale, the hands return to prayer. Good. One more. Inhale to bring the arms up towards the sky. And then as we exhale, we hinge forward from the hips, releasing the hands towards the floor and mat. Chin to chest, coming to a very simple forward fold. By doing so, we're beginning to warm up and open through the hips and the buttocks a little bit more, and just helping to encourage a final release of any tension we might be feeling in the spine. As you breathe in and out, really try to send the breath in towards the back of the body. Feeling the back of your ribcage expand and open outwards on every inhale. And then as you exhale, it's a chance to soften and surrender that a little bit deeper. One more deep breath in, and then as you exhale, we'll roll up through the spine, just letting the hands drift along the mat to come back in towards the knees and thighs. From here, we'll come to a tabletop position. Again, we can either take the feet to one side and then use our hands to help press ourselves up, or if it feels comfortable and safe for the knees, you can rock out over the knees and then uncross at the ankles. Make your way to near about in the center of your mat. Hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, hip width distance apart. Today, instead of moving through our traditional cat-cow, we're going to take a little bit of a circle here on our tabletop. So starting by circling towards our right, And you can start off with quite small circles of the pelvis here. And then as you begin to feel your hips warming up, but also your wrists, you can take those circles a little bit deeper, bringing more weight into the arms as you come forward. Relax through the back of your neck, so you're just looking down. Good. And then when you're ready, you take that same sequence now, circling towards the left. And you can take it as big or slow as feels right. You want to change the angle through the shoulders a little bit, feel free to do so. Bending or straightening the arms as you need to make it a little bit more animalistic if that feels nice in the upper body. Good. When you're ready, we slowly return to center. We'll be moving through a different variation of our leg extensions today. So when we're ready, we're going to inhale to take that left leg up. Ooh, then move forward slightly. Just so it's at hip height, the foot's flexed. Good. Hold here for a few breaths. Really imagine you're pushing out through that back left heel, and at the same time, someone's pulling on the crown of your head to lengthen through the spine. When you're ready, on an inhale, let's turn the toes so that they're pointing to the wall to the left of us, and we're stacking left hip on top of right. From here, as we exhale, we're going to take an ab curl and draw this knee up towards your armpit. And then we inhale to lift and lengthen. So keep the hips stacking vertically on top of each other, but when you extend, we want to bring that torso back down so it's level and the gaze is towards the floor. Exhale, we curl. Inhale, we extend. 2 more times. Exhale, we curl. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, we curl, really engaging through the core muscles here, protecting lower back. And the next time that you extend, we drop this left foot behind us, and then as we inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky to come to a supported side plank. From here, opening up through the shoulders, let's extend the reach of the hands, so we're creating a diagonal line, and then we're going to circle. So keep following the fingers with your gaze, tracing the pattern along the floor, and then inhale, we come back up. Another chance to open up through the chest. Exhale, you trace through the floor, and then inhale up. Last time, exhale, we trace. And then inhale up. From here, we're working through a threading motion, and we can stay in the supported variation if that feels nice for us. Exhale, we thread, and we reach the arm under to the wall just towards the right of us. And then inhale, we come up. Or you can take, if it feels safe for this wrist, we're going to come to our full side plank. So we stack that right foot underneath our left, and we repeat that same motion. Exhale, we twist. And then inhale, we come up. So it's just increasing the load on the wrist and the abdominals. So being mindful of what you need today, feeling free to take that gentler variation, if that's what your body needs. And the next time that you inhale to come up, we're simply going to exhale to come to our full plank, and then soften those knees gently back down towards the floor. Good. From here, take those toes together, and then send the weight back onto the heels. Good. We're taking our knees apart now, as wide as the mat or even a little wider perhaps. Hands in front of the pelvis. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine, and then as we exhale, we'll work those hands forward, releasing the forehead towards the floor. Moving into Ardha Mukha Virasana, downward facing hero posture. So we're actively pressing the pads and the fingertips into the floor so that we're having a sense of pressing the hips and the buttocks back towards our heels. But at the same time, the head and the neck is relaxed and the shoulder blades are rotating out and then up your spine. Just take a couple of breaths here. And if this right wrist is feeling a little sore after that last sequence, you can take a moment to just give it a little circle in both directions as you rest here, before returning the palm flat towards the earth. One more deep breath in, and then as you exhale, walk those hands back in towards the pelvis. Bring your knees now back into a neutral alignment, and we return to our tabletop. We complete the same sequence on our right. So make sure the hands are directly underneath shoulders, knees are directly underneath hips. When you're ready, we extend that right leg out long, and again, make sure it's just level with your hip. We're not coming up too high. And hold here for a few breaths, extending through the spine, feeling that diagonal stretch through the body. And then again, we inhale and we turn the toes now towards the right wall. And we're stacking right hip on top of left. Exhale, we curl, bringing the knee towards the armpit. And then inhale, we extend, lifting the gaze back towards the floor. Exhale, we curl, knee towards elbow, head towards knee. Inhale, we extend. 2 more times. Exhale to curl. Inhale to extend. Take care that you're not collapsing or sinking down through the chest and letting your ribcage open. You want to feel like you're almost sucking up out of the floor. Last one. Exhale to curl. Inhale to extend. And then we release this right foot towards the floor. Inhale, take that right arm up towards the sky. Good. Holding here for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, we begin that circle. So diagonal reach first, away from the toes. And then we trace the fingertips along the floor. Follow the fingers with your gaze. Inhale, we come back up. So we're really opening up and warming up through that shoulder socket. Exhale to trace below. And then inhale to trace above. Good. One last time. Exhale. Inhale up. And again, you can stay in the supported variation for your threads if you prefer. If that's more comfortable and safe for the wrist. Or come into that full stacked side plank. Ooh, falling over. When you're ready, we exhale and thread right arm below, reaching towards the wall just to the left of us. Inhale up. Exhale, we thread. Inhale up. One more time. Exhale, we thread. Inhale up. Good. This time the right hand comes down towards the floor. And then we'll press straight back into our downward facing dog this time. Adjusting the feet and hands as you need to. So making sure that your hands are nice and wide. And the feet are about hip width distance or slightly wider. Knees can be bent if they need to be so that you're lengthening through the spine. Tailbone reaching up towards the sky. Head and neck is relaxed. Give it a shake if you need to. When you're ready, let's just take a few presses through our dog. A few little walkouts. Alternate heel presses, warming up through the back of the legs. Moving as fast or as slow as feels right for your body today. Good. Then when you're ready, inhale to the balls of both feet. Go into a slightly higher downward dog. See if you can glue the tailbone where it is in space. And then as you exhale, take a big gusty sigh and feel those heels melt down towards the floor. From here, we'll inhale into our full plank. And it's your choice if you want to take half plank to lower, or maybe you want to stay in your full plank today. And we're going to lower all the way down towards the floor, releasing the feet. Good. Walk the feet out further from the hips if you need to, so that you feel like you're really lengthening out. And as we hold here, we'll just take a very quick quad stretch or upper thigh stretch. So turn to rest onto your left cheek. And then reach around with that right hand to hold onto right foot. Good. So drawing the knee towards the floor and the pubic bone towards the floor as well. So you don't want to feel like the tailbone is sticking up towards the sky. And we're letting gravity do most of the work here. But again, you can encourage just slightly that hand to help guide the foot a little closer towards the buttocks. If it feels comfortable for the knee. Deep breath in and then exhale, gently release that foot. We'll take it to the other side. So change through the cheeks. So right cheek's now on the floor. I'm going to keep looking this way though so you can hear me. And then we're taking the left foot in, reaching around with the left hand. And again, you might need to draw the knees in a little closer together and continue to encourage your pubic bone to press towards the floor. Deep breath in. And then exhale, we encourage the foot to come a little closer towards the buttocks. One more deep breath in, and then exhale, gently release the foot back down towards the floor. From here, we turn the forehead back down towards the mat, and then we inhale to lift and lengthen so that we're bringing our elbows underneath our shoulders to come into our Sphinx posture. We want to feel as though we're almost trying to pull ourselves forward with our fingertips. We're opening and broadening through the front of the chest, pubic bone again still pressing down towards the floor. Take care that you're just looking slightly forward. We're not looking up at the sky because we don't want there to be a creep through the back of the neck. We want the back of the neck to stay long. Good. Continuing to hold for a few breaths. I'm just going to change my angle very quickly. Good. From here, we're going to transition into our dolphin posture. So we'll be maintaining this contact of hands towards the floor like this. You might find that you need to come through more of a half plank position first by pressing the knees into the floor. But if you're up for the challenge, we're going to press off and come straight back onto our toes with straight legs. So when we're ready, deep breath in, tuck your toes under, exhale, lift the hips up high, and then walk the feet in closer towards the head as you come to your dolphin. You're actively pressing the earth away from you with your elbows so the head is well off the floor. And we're lengthening through the spine just like we do in our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, gently release the knees towards the mat. Inhale, come to your hands and come into a slight cow posture, opening up through the heart center. And then exhale, tuck your toes under and we press straight back into downward facing dog. Good. From here, we'll inhale, we'll right leg up nice and high towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw the knee towards the head to lightly land that foot at the top of your mat. Lower down that back left knee, and again, if you want, you can bring that pillow or blanket and just quickly pad the knee, just to protect that joint. As you inhale, press through the sole of the right foot, and then inhale the arms up towards the sky before we exhale to lower the hips back down towards the mat. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. And we're imagining the top of this left thigh is trying to push its way or pull its way up towards the top of the mat. Just bringing the pelvis back into a more neutral position. Inhale to grow a little taller. And then exhale, we take both hands back down towards the mat before we ground down through our left palm, tuck our back toes under. Inhale, straighten the back leg. And then exhale to twist, looking up at the right fingertips. Make sure you're putting energy into that big right toe to make sure the knee stays pointing out over the toes. We don't want it to flop out to the side. And the belly and the chest is coming as close as possible towards the thigh. Exhale. Can you sink the hips a little lower still? From here, as we take our next exhalation, we're taking that right hand back down towards the mat now, but on this time, we're bringing it onto the inside edge of the right foot. Exhale, softly lower, left knee and thigh down towards the mat. We're coming into a lizard variation, so we can let this right foot come out slightly so that the toes are pointing out towards the side. And then as we inhale, the right arm reaches forward, up, and back again. We're working towards the wall behind us. So our gentle variation is to hold here, simply working on this internal twist, opening up through the heart center, reaching the right fingers behind us. If you'd like to come into the bind, we can bend the left knee, bringing up the toes, and we're going to reach around with that right hand to grab onto the foot or the ankle. Once you're there, focusing on trying to draw left heel towards left buttock, while at the same time guiding the hips closer to the floor. And then we can open up through the heart center and lift the gaze if it's comfortable for the neck. Good. One more deep breath in, and then exhale, gently release those back left toes. We're going to walk this right foot back in, hands come either side to frame the foot. We tuck our back toes under if they've shifted, straighten their back leg, and then exhale, we press back into our downward facing dog. Move the prop from out of the way, and we'll move through the same flow that we did just before. So again, we inhale forwards, and we choose whether we want to come down through full plank or half, in one straight line, completely lower. Inhale, elbows come underneath our shoulders, lengthening up into our sphinx. Feel free to pause here for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, we tuck our toes under. We press through those elbows and forearms to lift the hips up high. Walk those feet in nice and close as we can. Dolphin posture. Knees can be bent again here as well. Exhale to draw the knees softly towards the floor. Inhale, our little cow posture. Keep abdominal muscles switched on to protect the lower back. And then exhale, we press back. Downward facing dog. Good. Keep the movement going. Inhale, left leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it towards the front of the mat in between the hands. Again, you have that cushion or blanket to pad through the back knee if you need to. Also guide that left foot further forward if you need to make sure your ankle's directly underneath your knee. Once you're ready, press through the sole of the left foot and then inhale up to your easy half lunge. Exhale, we soften and lower down. So this time, try to imagine that you're drawing your rib cage in towards the center line, and at the same time, the back of your rib cage is opening and expanding outwards and upwards. Good. One more deep breath in, maybe finding a little bit more height through the arms and the chest before we exhale to take both hands back down towards the mat. This time we ground down through our right hand, tuck our back toes under, inhale, straighten the back leg, and then twist towards our left, looking up at those left fingers if we can. Again, make sure your knee stays pointing out over the toes, pressuring energy through the big left toe. Good. Pressing out through the back right heel. One more deep breath in, and then as you exhale, the hands come onto the inside edge of the left foot this time. And we're softly dropping that right thigh and right knee back down towards the mat. Walk this left foot out slightly, toes at a 45-degree angle. And it might be enough actually just to stay here today if you felt that that twist was a little intense on the other side. Otherwise, we inhale the left arm forward and then up, and we reach towards the wall behind us. Gaze following the fingertips. Good. If you did the bind on the other side and it felt safe in the knee, you can do so on this side as well. Bending that right foot in towards the buttocks, reaching around with a hand to grab onto the toes or the ankles. And then we're opening up through the heart center, lifting the gaze if it's comfortable for the neck. Exhale, and the hips soften a little bit more, down towards the earth. To release, exhale, softly lower those right toes back down towards the mat. Bring the left hand forward. Walk your left foot in so that you're framing that front foot. Ground down through the palms, tuck your back toes under, straighten that back leg, and then press back into the downward facing dog. Move your prop out of the way if you need to, and make your choice today. Maybe you want to hold in your downward dog for a few breaths here, continuing to build warmth and endurance in this posture. Or if you want to move through the vinyasa flow, you can do so now. We inhale forwards. And again, make your choice half plank or full. Maybe you want to come to half plank this time if your wrists or your arms are getting a little sore. Inhale into Sphinx, opening up through the heart center. Pause there for a few breaths if you feel. Or exhale, we tuck our toes under. And we press straight back up into our dolphin, walking the toes in closer towards the head. Exhale, we soften the knees gently towards the mat. Inhale into cow, opening up through heart center. Tuck toes, exhale, we press back into downward facing dog. Okay, once we're all back in our downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, moving on to our next standing sequence, we inhale the right leg up nice and high. Exhale again, scoop out through the belly, draw the knee towards the hip so you lightly land the right foot at the top of your mat. Exhale, round down through the back left heel, toes at a 45-degree angle, and then inhale, use your left arm to windmill you up to your warrior two. From here, you might need to walk this right foot further around so you can deepen the lunge. If you look, you can just see those toes. If you draw a line from your front foot to the back foot, it should intersect with the arch of your back foot. Energy out through fingertips, and we're looking out over the right arm if it's comfortable for our neck. Make sure that the tailbone is gently drawing towards the earth, while at the same time the crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. Make sure again you have that sense of the rib cage drawing in rather than trying to open up, that lower rib cage in particular. When we're ready, we'll turn our front palm up towards the sky. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, lightly landing the left hand onto that back left leg. You can look up at the top hand or perhaps back at that left toe. Relax through the shoulders. Make sure you're continuing to increase that lunge through the right leg. Lovely little slide bend here through the chest. No pressure should be felt in the lower back. Next inhalation will bring us back up to our warrior two, and then as we exhale, the right elbow will gently land at the right thigh. Take the left hand straight up towards the sky, or we create a diagonal line from fingers to toes. Parsvakonasana, side angle. Here we try to open up our chest towards our left, and we sink the hips a little closer to the floor. Feel free to stay here if you'd like. You can release those fingers down towards the mat. Good. If you ever get a cramp, like I'm currently getting, you can always ease out slightly, and then come back in. Make sure though that you're trying to stack the left hip vertically on top of the right. Wonderful. From here, imagine someone's pulling you up that top hand back to your warrior two, and then exhale, we windmill those hands back down towards the mat, framing that front leg, and then we press back into our downward facing dog. Relax through the back of the neck. Choose your option today. Do you want to stay here holding in this lovely downward dog, or do you want to move through our flow? Inhale forwards to full plank, lower in full or half plank, to lie completely flat on the mat. Inhale into Sphinx, opening up through the heart center, back of the neck stays long. Exhale, tuck those toes under, press back into your dolphin, walking those toes in closer towards the head. Press the earth away from you with the forearms. Before you exhale to gently lower the knees. Inhale into a variation of our cow, opening up through the heart center. Keep the heart center open as you exhale and press back into downward facing dog. Wonderful. From here, we take the same sequence on the left. So we inhale the left leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it towards the front of the mat in between the hands. Ground down through the right back ankle this time. And then inhale, the right arm is what leads us up to our warrior two. Again, take a moment to adjust through the front leg if you need to. Work that heart center now towards your right. Energy out through fingertips. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, try to soften the shoulders away from your ears. Imagine that you're letting your arms rest on a body of water. Good. Externally rotate out through the front leg and slightly internally rotate through this back leg. When we're ready to reverse the warrior, we turn the front palm up. Inhale to reach forward, and then exhale, we come back. Again, you're looking wherever is comfortable for your neck. The right hand is just lightly guiding us on this back leg. We're not sinking or collapsing down there. And you want to think about really lengthening through the torso. So there's this misconception that you're trying to almost draw your head towards this back heel. That's not the case. You want to be lifting the torso up and out of the pelvis and the hips. Good. Next inhalation, guide yourself back up with this top left hand. And then exhale, the left elbow comes onto the thigh. Hand either comes straight up to the sky, this right hand, or it creates a diagonal line from fingers to toes. Just depends on what feels best for this right shoulder. Let your hips and pelvis settle in here, and then only if you feel ready should you bring the fingertips or the flat palm towards the floor, just on the inside edge of that left foot. Relax through the back of the neck, and again we're stacking this right shoulder on top of left, right hip on top of left hip. Good. Feel free to change the gaze as well if you're building up any tension in the neck. When you're ready to move on, we inhale, feel as though we're being pulled up with that top right hand, back to warrior two. Take a moment there. And then when you're ready, we wiggle those hands back down towards the mat. We release that back right heel, and we press back into downward facing dog. Again, choosing your option today. Maybe you'd like to pause for a few breaths in your child's posture or downward facing hero posture. Maybe you want to hold here. If you want to move through the vinyasa flow again, then you can follow me now by inhaling forwards, lower through half plank or full, so I completely flat on the mat. Inhale into sinks. Exhale, we tuck the toes under, we press back into our dolphin, walking the feet in a little closer. And inhale, see if you can just draw through those forearms a little bit more, press the earth away from you before you exhale to soften the knees towards the mat. Inhale to a variation of your cow posture. Exhale, we press back, maintaining that openness through the heart center into downward facing dog. From here, we're moving into a warrior three variation. As we inhale, we take the right leg up nice and high. As we exhale, we scoop it to the front of the mat in between the hands. From here, I'd like us to retract back, and we're going to power through, lunging off or pushing off this back left leg to come to stand upright on our right. Drawing left knee in towards the chest. Hugging it in nice and close, like a bicep curl like we did on the floor. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. When you're ready, flex that left foot. Hands return to prayer at heart center. And then as you exhale, we fly into our warrior three. Pressing out through the back left heel, leveling and squaring off through the hips. So it's your choice for your hands. Maybe you want to keep them in prayer. Maybe you want to come to the T. Maybe you want to fly like a bird or fly like Superman. It's up to you. Just hold for a few breaths here. Keep trying to lengthen out through the back of the neck. Draw this right kneecap up towards your hip. Lock down through the rib cage. And then when we're ready to lower, we exhale and soften that left toe back down towards the floor. Inhale up. As we exhale, take a little bit of a humble warrior variation. Reaching the hands behind you, laying the torso over that front thigh. Inhale, really lengthen and extend through the fingertips to bring you up to high lunge. Let's take that once more. Exhale, and we lower. Inhale, and we come up. This time as we exhale, we'll take the hands towards the mat to frame this front right leg. And then we press back to downward facing dog. Again, it's your practice, your choice. Maybe you'd like to hold here or rest in a child's posture. Or if you want to move through the vinyasa flow, we inhale forwards. Lower with control, almost as though you're lowering through honey or treacle. Inhale into sinks. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Press back into dolphin posture. Really press the earth away from you with those forearms. Exhale to gently soften the knees. Inhale into a variation of your cow. Keep that openness through the collarbones as you exhale back into downward facing dog. And we take the same sequence now on the left. So we inhale the left leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it to the front of the mat in between the hands. And again, we take that little retraction back. Press off this back right foot. So we stand up nice and tall on the left, and we guide that right knee in towards the chest. Drop your hips to that level. Squeeze right knee in towards the chest, and really activate through this left supporting leg. When you feel that you're steady and have your balance, the hands come to prayer, flex the right foot. And then as you exhale, really actively press back through that right heel to float yourself into the warrior three, squaring off as much as you can through the hips. And there can be a little bit of a bend in the supporting leg if you need, or hands can come to the floor for support. Imagine that you have cool air floating up from the earth, helping to lift and raise you. The next exhalation, we soften those right toes gently back down towards the mat, high lunge, inhale up. And we take this little humble warrior variation flow. Exhale, reach those fingertips forward and then down, releasing the torso over the thigh. And again, the arms lengthen to inhale and bring you back up. Exhale, we come down. Square through the hips. Inhale, we lift and lengthen to come back up. Exhale, this time as we come down, we release the hands towards the floor, framing this left foot. And then we press back to downward facing dog. Give that head a little shake if there's any tension there. And then your practice, your choice, holding here or one last little vinyasa flow. Inhale forwards. Exhale to lower slowly with control, elbows tight to the body. Inhale to Sphinx, elbows nice and tight towards the body. Exhale, we tuck those toes under, press the elbows and forearms down to bring yourself into your dolphin. Head well off the floor. Exhale, soften the knees towards the mat. Inhale, little cow posture variation. Exhale, we press back into downward facing dog. And we hold here for 3 deep breaths, in and out. Good. From here, we're going to exhale to completely empty the lungs, and then we're either going to walk or perhaps we'll jump our feet to the top of the mat in between the hands. Inhale to a halfway lift, whether that's fingertips or hands to shins, flat back position. And then exhale, we soften and fold back down. Uttanasana. First Uttanasana for our practice today. Give the head a couple of nods and shakes here just to relax through the neck. And we'll come up with a sway. So when we're all ready, we'll sway gently right to left. Really relax through the back of the neck here. And then press through soles of feet, engage through your core muscles as you exhale, and begin to roll up through the spine whilst maintaining this sway. So then we inhale up, shoulders and head last as we come to standing Tadasana. So from here we'll come to Prasarita Padottanasana. So excuse me for the fact that you can't see my head. But we're going to take our legs out really nice and wide. You'll probably prefer to turn so that you're facing the long end of your mat and the outside edges of your feet are lining up parallel to the short ends of your mat. As wide as feels comfortable for you. Engage through the tops of the thighs, drawing your kneecaps up towards your hips. Hands resting at the pelvis. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. If you imagine that the pelvis is like a bowl of water, you're going to let the bowl tip forwards so the water begins to pour out of the pelvis. And then we bring our torso forward so that it comes to a flat back position and release the hands one at a time until they're underneath the shoulders. Relax through the back of your neck and imagine now that energy is running down from your tailbone all the way through the spine, out through the back of the neck and the crown of the head like a waterfall. Keep that energy engagement through the legs. And if you feel comfortable here, you might like to exhale and begin to bend through the elbows, guiding the crown of the head closest to the floor as you work those fingertips back so that they're working towards being in line with the toes. Wherever you are though, keep the weight forward into the balls of the feet. So there's a tendency to rock back on the heels here, but we'd like to keep the weight forward. And let's hold here for a couple of breaths. Taking a few moments in this cooling variation of our standing postures as we open up through the back and inner thighs and engage and strengthen the muscles around the ankles and the shins. Good. And then to release, we inhale to look forward and walk those hands back out to underneath the shoulders if they shifted in. From here, really engage through those core muscles on an exhale, and I'd like you to float your feet to either side of your hands. Good. Coming into a little Malasana squat. Not here for too long though, we just take those hands straight away behind us to release the bottom on towards the mat, and then we lengthen the legs out long. Now you might need to change your orientation now so that you're lining back up with your mat, or if you're happy here, you're happy here. Working towards our Paschimottanasana this time. So again, you might want to take that cushion or folded blanket and set up on the very edge just to help tilt your pelvis slightly forward. And then once you're there, the legs come out nice and long, thighs together, feet are flexed. Imagine that you're pressing the soles up against the wall that's ahead of you. From here, we inhale to lift and lengthen the arms up towards the sky. And as we exhale, it's the contraction of our core muscles, which is the trigger, which brings us into our fold. When we feel that first point of resistance, we just release the hands onto the legs, wherever that might be for you personally today. That could be thighs, knees, shins, ankles, maybe toes. It doesn't matter, guys. Just listen to what your body needs. Find that edge and then flirt with it. Work within the edge to allow yourself that room to grow. If you push too far too fast, all that will happen is that your body will push back accordingly. So you find our edge, we hold and we pause there. Perhaps you'd like to close down your eyes. There's still that little bit of an energy and engagement through the core muscles, and that core contraction helps to continue to lengthen the spine. Relax the shoulders. There shouldn't really be any effort here in the arms. They're not pulling you forwards whatsoever. They're just an anchor point. And then you might perhaps find on your third or fourth exhale that you can sink or surrender a little deeper. Or equally perhaps not today, and be acknowledging and mindful of that fact. Approach it without judgment. Maybe today you need to go a little softer, a little slower. We don't always have to be firing at 100% in our yoga practice. Sometimes it's fun to explore that midway point. And what other kind of feedback do you get when you're there? When you ease out slightly, what else is your body telling you? Good. 3 more deep breaths in. Feel free to take an audible exhale out through the mouth. If you feel like you're holding tension around the jaw, face or neck. And again, you might just find that little bit of extra surrender. And then when you feel completely ready, should you inhale to look forward between those toes, and then exhale, let the hands just drift up the legs to bring you back upright. From here, draw the knees in towards the chest, wrap the arms around the legs, exhale, forehead comes to the knees. Just taking a few breaths in your cosmic egg to help release any tension that might have built up in the spine, particularly in between the shoulder blades. Good. Inhale to take the head off the knees. From here, we're going to come into our Lord of the Fish posture, which I would recommend that you come off your prop if you are on a prop today. Just place it off to the side. Might be nice to have that close to hand for Shavasana. When you're ready, we're going to take this left hand and reach around towards our right ankle, and then guide the right ankle to the outside edge of our hips. Then this left foot can either come onto the inside edge of the right knee or perhaps the outside edge if that feels more comfortable for you. But just make sure that this left buttock hasn't come off the floor because we've done this. If it has, bring the foot back onto the inside edge. Listen to what your body needs today. Then when we're ready, we'll take our left hand behind us and then inhale our right arm up towards the sky. From here, as we exhale and begin to twist towards the left, we're either hooking the elbow or wrapping the elbow around that right knee. Now, if anyone is pregnant or menstruating today, or if you've got any lower back soreness, I would recommend taking the open twist in the opposite direction towards your right, not your left. Both options are great. You're still getting a spinal twist, you're still getting the benefits, but obviously that closed twist is just a little bit more intense. We can't breathe so easily through the stomach, so that's something to be mindful of as well. Wherever you are though, whether it's the open or the closed twist, take an inhale and see if you can find a little bit more length through the spine. And then exhale, perhaps deepen the twist. Trying to look out over the back shoulder. Actively press through the sole of that left foot to deepen the twist. One more deep breath in. And then gently we exhale to unwind, bringing the gaze and the torso back to center. Take your hands behind you to change the cross of the legs by bringing the weight backwards. And again, check in. Has this right bottom come off the floor? And if it has, bring that right foot now onto the inside edge of the left knee. Or alternatively, if it feels fine, you can have both buttocks and pelvis pressing evenly into the mat. We can cross the leg over. Now, if you're coming into the open twist, it's left hand behind, right arm up, and then we twist towards our left. If you prefer the closed twist, we take our right hand behind, we inhale, left arm up, and then again, we're hooking or wrapping the arm onto the outside edge of the right knee this time. Inhale to grow a little taller. Exhale, we deepen the twist if we can to look towards the shoulder that's behind us. Keep engaging through the core muscles. Take care you're not putting too much weight into the hand that's behind your spine. You should be able to lift it up off the floor and nothing should really change. You're simply using it, again, as that anchor point to increase and guide you deeper in towards your twist. Inhale and exhale once more to hold. One final deep breath in, and then we exhale to unwind the head and then the chest and the arms from the twist. Good. Take your hands behind you. Weight the hands just to simply uncross the legs. Good. From here, actually, let's just take a very simple forward fold once more. So we'll come back to our Sukhasana. Try to make it the opposite cross to what you did at the start of the class. So I normally have my right leg in front, or what looks to you as my left, but I've changed my cross on this side. When we're ready, we inhale to lift and lengthen up, and then exhale, we fold forward. Just so that we're coming full circle in our practice, and to allow you to notice if you can feel the hips and the buttocks have opened up and softened, and also the spine hasn't begun to release. Can you feel less neural tension running down through the spine? Alternatively, perhaps because of your hard work during the practice, you might feel here a little tighter than you were at the start, particularly in the hips and the buttocks. So there's no judgment here. We're just building that awareness and the mindfulness. Really relax through back of neck, chin to chest. The curve in the spine is perfectly fine here. Exhale and feel yourself supported by the earth beneath you, palms and arms grounding down. One more deep breath in, and then exhale again. We roll up with the spine, fingers just drifting along the floor to come back in towards the knees and the thighs. From here, we transition into our Shavasana. So it's your practice, your choice. Perhaps you'd like to return to your starting position where you have the feet nice and wide and the knees knocked together before you roll down. Or alternatively, the legs can be long with the feet very generous, hip width distance apart, toes flopping out to the side. Feel free to try both options before you decide on one. And if you do have that blanket or that cushion close to hand, you might like to pad the back of your head with it today. So lowering down, using the hands for support if you need to, and then choosing your option, knees bent. I love this if I have tension in my hips or my lower back, which to be frank is quite a lot of the time, or legs long if you're feeling happy in those areas. Arms are either beside the body, palms facing up, or perhaps the arms are bent and the palms are resting on the belly. Wherever you are, make any last little adjustments or wriggles that you need to until you feel yourself to be completely comfortable and at peace. You might even want to pick that head back up with the hands to lengthen the neck back out before you lower it back down onto your mat, blanket or cushion. Softly close down the eyes and begin to bring that awareness once more to the breath, not trying to actively change or alter it at this point, but simply using it as a mechanism to guide you into your relaxation. So as you exhale, you can feel the whole back of your body sinking and melting down into the mat. And then as you inhale, you feel that the whole top half of your body feels really light, open and spacious. Open to receiving the energy that we've built up in the room. Good. Exhale to feel the toes, ankles and calves soften. Front and back of knees relax. And you can feel the flesh of the thighs, front and back, melting away from the bones. Allow for your bottom, your pelvis and your lower back to feel really supported by the earth beneath you. And as you inhale, your abdominal muscles relax. Their hard work is done for the moment. Take some nice deep breaths in and out. Back of the rib cage and the shoulder blades melts and fuse down into the earth. And the heart center and the collarbones open and release on an inhale. Your arms, hands and fingers are completely relaxed wherever they may be. Neck is relaxed and long. The jaw is soft. And we let go of any lingering tension we might be feeling around the face, particularly at the back of our eye sockets and up in towards the third eye center. And we feel the back of the skull and the top of the head release. Whole body completely at peace. And then if any thoughts begin to bubble up in the mind, acknowledge them, but then gently press them to one side, not letting anything intrude into this moment of peace and relaxation. Your Shavasana today. We'll begin to slowly draw the awareness back to the body now by taking a few deep breaths in and out. Really noticing belly rise and fall. Perhaps taking an audible exhale out through the mouth. And bring a little bit of movement to fingers and toes, giving them a wriggle, feeling skin rub on skin. And then allow your head to turn from side to side to massage through the back of the skull and to begin to reawaken the neck. Allow the head to return to center and complete any last little stretches or wriggles or movement that feels right for you. Let it be instinctual, don't second guess. If you want to inhale to a full body stretch, go there. Maybe it's knees to chest, maybe it's a happy baby or a glute stretch, whatever feels right for you. And then only when you feel completely ready should you roll over onto your side and pause there for a moment in a fetal position, giving your body one last chance to re-enter the space of the room. With your eyes still softly closed, we use hands and arms to gently guide ourselves to a seated or kneeling position, not worrying too much about where you end up facing, with hands resting on the knees or the thighs. Find that lovely length and alignment through the spine again, tailbone connecting down towards the earth as the crown of the head lifts towards the sky, shoulders relax away from ears. Take a moment to reconnect once more with the breath and notice any changes that might have occurred there, whether that be in pattern, length, texture, and any other changes that might have occurred as a result of your practice today, whether those changes be physically within the body, or perhaps they reside in the heart or the mind. And then we'll take our hands to prayer at heart center and guide our forehead down towards our fingertips. Take this moment to truly thank yourself, taking the time out of your busy day to come and practice yoga, but also to extend gratitude and thanks to all our teachers, past and present, and our fellow yogis in this digital community. I'd like to conclude the class with one chant of the mantra Om. You can join in simply by listening. But if you'd like to chant with me, we'll synchronize the breath by all exhaling here. And then taking a deep breath in for Om. You carry these peaceful vibrations with you the rest of the week. Thank you so much. But thank you for joining me for this practice today of Hump Day Yoga. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, feel free to drop in the comments if you have any questions about our practice or have any requests for future practices. And you can hit subscribe or like if you enjoyed the video. I am actually returning to full-time work this week. So during all this lockdown wildness that we've been living, I have only been freelance teaching. I haven't been doing any other kind of work, which is giving me a lot of freedom to be able to do these things. But because I don't know what my schedule will be like in this upcoming month, I've made a decision to drop from weekly Hump Day Yoga to fortnightly. So it'll be fortnightly from here on in, and then I might reevaluate that and we might increase the numbers again, or it might stay consistently a fortnight thing. We'll just wait and see. But there'll still be more to come, just a little bit more of a wait in between practices. But thank you and have a wonderful day.